Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the U.S.S. H.M.S. Beagle. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be your game master for tonight as we play through Star Trek Adventures by Modiphius Games. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Welcome to Tabletop Bob. Like I said, this is a game of Star Trek Adventures, but we are going to be learning to play this game live in front of all you people. So thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Let's introduce the cast here. We've got John, we've got Nate, we've got Stefano, we've got Joey and Stephanie. As you saw by the opening intro there, they made their characters. We did our session 0, what was it? Last week, right? Yeah, 1 week ago, yeah. And boy, is this some crew I've ever seen one. What do you think? Is this crew going to save the galaxy, or are they going to die trying? What do you think?
I think we'll save the galaxy.
I think somewhere right in the middle.
Yeah, it's going to be no better or no worse than when we started.
It depends on your definition of what saving the galaxy is.
Oh, boy.
That's a mighty fine task. We can preserve the galaxy.
Listen.
Okay, Thaddeus, you got it. Well, I'm so excited to play because this has been a game that I've been looking to get into for quite some time. I think I told everybody at the sessions here, I played a couple of games online that started the pandemic, and I didn't really get a feel for it. It was just a live play game group, and I didn't know the rules. They weren't bad people or anything. It's just they weren't that helpful.
Yes, they were.
They were terrible people, and so I had to learn it myself. And now I'm going to do my best to avoid what they did to you. All right. Let's see here. Let's see who's in the chat today. Welcome, Wayne, Jason. How's it going, everybody? This is going to be an interesting game. So we have made our characters, and I have all the PDFs. I did not get a chance to put them on a Google Drive, which I want to do, and then you can see all the characters. But at the end of the episode, I'll get all their PDFs up so that you can check out what they've made. But if you're interested in seeing the Session 0 before watching this episode, go to that. There's a playlist created for Star Trek Adventures, and this adventure is called Entropy's Demise, which is a actual mission from the book of These Are the Voyages, and that is one of the official books that Modiphius put out. So if you're interested in checking this out for yourself, I put the link to Modiphius' website in the description below. All right, now that we get all that covered, let's talk about our characters. I want to go around. You can all introduce who you are and who you're playing today, because these characters really came to life, I think, last session. We created a starship, which is called the U.S.S. H.M.S. Beagle. Yes, we know what that means. But we decided it anyway. This is a crew that is a mixture of veteran and new recruits. But I think all the veterans are people that would consider this to be some sort of a demotion. It was a refit of an old, what was our ship? A Constitution class? No,
it was an Intrepid class.
Intrepid class. So it's an old Intrepid class ship that was refitted with extra engine or boosters. And this is the crew that they've gotten to fill it. Why don't we start with second in command? Joey, tell us who you're playing.
All right, I'm playing Yaren Miller. I was a rising star of the Federation, and when there was a border dispute on the neutral zone. The Romulan Empire wanted to include a Federation world into the neutral zone, meaning that the colonists had to leave. My character had a moment of passion that soured the negotiations, and I took this post as a sort of demotion.
Yeah. And you have some specialty with the Romulans, you said?
Yeah, I tried to negotiate a treaty with them, and it did not go well.
Gotcha. Well, you know, I'm not saying that you're going to see Romulans or anything. I mean, they're a common enemy. Maybe you will be having to interact with them once more. We'll see. Let's jump to next in command, which I believe it's going to be either between John or Stephanie. So who wants to go first?
Well, I'm happy to go and talk about one of the fatal flaws of my commander there is trying to negotiate with Romulans. They're a difficult bunch to read. But my name is Thaddeus Beau, and I'm a Betazoid security officer. And I'm not quite sure why I'm here. I don't believe I made too many mistakes, but I think telling my commander the truth once or too many times in a row got him quite ornery with me. And I find myself here, but what I can tell so far, these are some fine folk I'll be spending time with.
Yeah, I'll actually say, though, probably not everybody on the ship thinks this is a demotion. They're probably thrilled to be here. It is the Federation, of course, so it's a prestige sort of thing. You are the few, the chosen, right? You are a select group. Basically, you're all like astronauts. I mean, you all know so much about the space and physics and things like that. You are experts in your field.
We're actually kind of like college students, like college graduates.
Well, it's the college students that know about
what's that? Military
yeah, you're somewhat. It's a it's a militaristic in a way. I mean, but you're out there trying to explore. In fact, I think your ship is a science vessel, so you would be called on for mostly non-combative things. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, now let's jump to Stephanie, because this ship ain't kicking around without a engineer.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm playing Tahal. I am a Vulcan. I am a chief engineer. I am, I think, the youngest on the ship. I am very excited to be here. So obviously, I'm a Vulcan that doesn't follow the discipline of, I'm going to say pronounce everything wrong, Nahar, where I got rid of emotions. Did not do that. I have lots of emotions because that's who I am.
Interesting.
But I am a younger person who is very excited to be on this ship and be a chief engineer. I've worked with veteran engineers in my career as an intern, holding the flashlight, watching them do everything. So I believe I can do it all.
Nice.
I may not be able to, though.
No, but still, that's what your character believes. And to be honest, you probably know this bucket of bolts like no one else, because you were a part of the refit. So not only were you working on it, you're now in charge of it.
I'm very excited. Yes.
Yeah. All right, now let's go to everyone's favorite cranky old Tellurite. Tell us about your character, Stefano.
Well, hey everyone. I'm playing Karst Bim Proxy, the only veteran on this ship. And you know what? The higher-ups told me that this mission was going to need someone with a lot of experience. And that's what I got. So I was happy to do it for them. I will get these guys into shape. And because I could do a little bit of everything, they appointed me operations manager. And that kind of means I'm just in charge of everything.
It does. In fact, one of the things you're in charge of doing is making the schedules for everyone. So you literally are the person that everybody wants to befriend. However, you're friends with no one. Am I right? Is that right?
Well, I'm friends with anyone who seems to follow my old school mentality. And by old school, I mean, if it doesn't work, just kick it.
That is one of your values, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. We'll talk about the value soon. I'm sure that will come into play quite often. Let's go to Nate, round out the group. Who we got? Nate?
Yo, what's up?
He's in character.
My name's Vibes McGee. I'm
Oh.
a chill Trill. And I'm 4 years out from my pension. And my last commander didn't like me. I doubt this one will either, you know?
Oh.
Let's go explore space.
Wow. That's awesome. And Vibes McGee has a very interesting medical history, right? I mean, he lost his leg, correct?
Yeah, dude, I didn't even see it coming. The little engineering incident, and like it just fell right on me, and just no more leg, you know, ipso facto. We're just out here, everyone trying to, you know, seize the day, seize your burrito, you know. Leg or no leg.
I love it. Yeah, so you are Trill, which is also interesting, but you have no what's the word?
Symbiote?
You have no symbiote
Or
right now. It's just
something
it's
like
just you,
that.
correct?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I actually don't remember. I forget. Do you have to have?
Yeah,
somebody-
there's an option. So
Oh, okay.
I chose like former initiate, so that
Mhm.
yeah, I tried and it like didn't work out. It like didn't choose me.
Gotcha. Okay. So then, yeah. So you're just Vibes McGee, just vibing.
Just vibing, bro.
Love it. Why don't I introduce to you a few other people on your ship? First and foremost, the person that you report to, the person that is in charge of this ship, is Captain Dudley Saltonstall. You might want to write this down. Saltonstall. Salton Stall. Saltonstall. Dudley Saltonstall. But don't call him Dudley. He, I think we were chatting in the sessions here about what your captain should be like. It should probably be some, like, really, like, indecisive captain. Well, that's not Captain Dudley, all right? That might have been who he was. In fact, Captain Dudley Saltonstall was the former captain of the U.S.S. Trumbull. The Trumbull was many years ago now, because he's an old veteran himself. He actually was in a sort of like a war raid, and basically his indecision caused the loss of him and 6 other Federation ships. He was able to escape, transporting him and a few other people to a larger cruiser to get away, but his ship and the other 6 were all lost. And he hasn't been given a captaincy since. And this is his first captaincy in over 20 years. He's looking to perhaps write his legacy. And so far, you've been on the ship for a few months. You've done a few different salvage operations, some distress calls. You've been ordered to go oversee, but for the most part, he has been full-on, decisive, aggressive, and he's put the whole crew on high alert for perhaps far too many things. So it's kind of stressed you all out.
Start with one stress.
Now, Joey, Yaren Miller is his number 2. However, you feel a little bit of a rift between you and the captain. In fact, the captain he actually favors Karst a bit more. Karst and the captain have a sitting appointment every Sunday afternoon for coffee together. Coffee and donuts, which they make in the replicator. So, yeah, Karst, we're gonna start the episode in a second, but you're gonna be with the captain on this beautiful Sunday afternoon in space. All right.
Great.
But yeah, there's always this little rift. You feel like he just doesn't, his age and everything just kind of associates a little bit more with Karst. I'm definitely going to call you Karg at least once or twice during this episode, because that was John's character's name and it's so close to that. So if I call you Karg, I'm totally mean you, okay? Not John.
Okay.
All right. And then one other person you are going to want to know is your transporter technician. Chief Petty Officer David Wilkinson. He's a human. Same as your captain. He's a human, and he's a conversationalist, to say the least. In fact, every time you've gone on some sort of away mission, you just hope he's not the one at the transporter. He just can't stop talking to you. He's from Milwaukee, so he's got that Milwaukee accent, that sort of Midwest accent, and every time he talks to you, he basically starts talking about what life was like back at the back on Wisconsin, or sorry, did I say Wisconsin? Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah. You know, cheeseheads, and I don't know if football still exists, but he's definitely a Packers fan. So
Wait, what's his name?
David Wilkinson.
Okay, thank you.
He's from Milwaukee, eh?
Well, welcome.
Milwaukee, eh?
Hey, I work with a guy named David Wilkinson.
Go Pack. Go Packers.
For real? The same name, same place?
Sounds very familiar. I used to work in Milwaukee, so that's funny.
David
It's
Wilkinson.
so Midwestern. I mean, I could have met 1,000 David Wilkinson sons.
There might be 1,000 David Wilkinsons in Wisconsin. So we're going to start this adventure in space. Over
the final frontier.
No, we're not doing that again.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we are going to start in the captain's ready room. Karst. You and the captain are sitting there. It's a Sunday afternoon. You've got your coffee, your donuts. What's your particular brew and selection of donut?
I like my coffee black.
So does the
Strong.
captain. So does the
Black,
captain. Yeah.
strong, and no frills on the donut. Just plain is good for me.
The captain likes to indulge a bit with a French cruller, but it's the most basic of fancy donuts. You're right. And of course, he also does black as well. Black, strong coffee. The replicator, he says to you, you know, Karst, back on Earth, we made much better coffee than this. This is, you can tell it's replicator swill.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, we've been on enough ships to know how shitty this coffee tastes.
That's right. You know, we gotta get Tal's your name character, Stefano, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tal. We gotta get Tal to work on the replicator a bit more. I think there's some fine tuning. When they did the refit, didn't quite get everything right. Don't tell her that though.
Oh, don't worry. I'll show her the ropes.
I just realized.
Also, I'd like to just say that I probably fiddled around with it before we started this mission to try to make it better.
Oh, so he doesn't even know that though. Yeah.
And I'm
No
going to
clue.
throw in that Tahal does not drink coffee, and so she has no idea what it's supposed to taste like.
That's fair. That's fair. He says to you, actually, no, excuse me. The computer comes on, and someone else from the bridge will be chiming in, and the captain goes, yes, go ahead. Captain, we have a urgent transmission from Starfleet Command. Should I have it to the ready room? He looks at you and he puts down his coffee, barely drank, maybe 2 sips. And he goes, see? Not even time to have coffee. He says, Karst, why don't you go out and get everybody ready? We'll take this call on the bridge. Where's Yaren when I need him? He looks around.
All right. You got it, Salt and Stall. I chug my coffee. There's always time for coffee. I
Your
walk
tongue is burned.
out. Okay.
You take 1 stress. No, just kidding. But he'll get up and he'll salute you as you exit the room. He's very formal, so when he gets up, he does everything by the book. All right, so
I'll salute back.
you
What's
head
the
out.
salute? Is this the salute? Is this what we do?
No, it's a normal salute. So you get out of the ready room and you head to the bridge, and Salt and Stall comes out a few minute or so later, and the rest of the crew is either all there or you've been summoned to the bridge. Is there anything? I think we'll have definitely vibes. You're going to be at the helm right now. You're at the con.
Yeah.
Yaren,
Sweet.
would you be in your room? You weren't on duty at this time, but would you have...
Yeah, I'm sort of reading in my room, listening to music.
Gotcha. So then you're going to be called in over the computer. They'll say that you're being summoned to the bridge.
I tap my communicator and go, I'm on my way.
All right. And then John, I think at this point you would have control of the bridge until the captain relieves you and comes out of the ready room. And Steph, you would be coming in at this point, or would you be? You're on duty right now, so you'd be probably at the bridge maybe. So the captain will come out, and everyone is there gathered, and all the extras, the red shirts, so to speak, even though they're not wearing red shirts in this era, they're all there. They're hanging out. And the captain will come to the chair, sit in the captain's chair, and point to Karst to play the message. Or not play the message, excuse me, receive the transmission.
I do that. I press the button.
On the main view screen, you can see a female Vulcan Starfleet officer, which you all recognize to be as Admiral Talara. She's a member of Starfleet Operations. Although her expression remains passive, you get a sense that something grave must be occurring if an admiral is contacting the ship directly. Captain, she begins. Starfleet Command needs you to redirect your ship to the colony of Carina VII. The colony's governor, Cyrita Sebastian, is reporting a series of strange phenomena that threaten the colony's safety. She states that children being born on Carina VII are aging at a rapid rate. The native flora and fauna are also growing rapidly, and just as rapidly withering. Structures that should be lasting decades are suddenly falling apart. Your ship is the closest to the colony. It's imperative that you discover a solution to this colony's problems. The captain is sitting up right now. He stiffens his back, and he's like, Of course, we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll chart a course. Lieutenant McGee.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Why are the coordinates not already being put in?
No, right away, sir. Sir, dude. Put him in.
He looks to Yaren and he says, Number 2.
Yep. Yes, Captain.
Any thoughts, any questions for the Admiral?
Aside from us being close, surely there has to be a better ship more suited to solving this problem. Is it a medical issue? Or is it truly a scientific one?
That's what we're not sure of, she says. You see, it's possible that there is some sort of disease or illness on the planet, but it wouldn't account for structures or the flora and fauna. And so we believe there must be some sort of scientific anomaly that your ship would be best to explore. But you are also the closest, and if we need to send more Federation ships, we will. It is of the utmost importance that this colony remains intact.
Yes, Admiral.
He looks to the rest of the crew for ideas.
Sir, I do suggest that we land just outside of the colony, though. If everything's aging at a rapid pace, I don't want anything to happen to the ship.
It's a good call. Good call. You're a lieutenant, right? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah. Good call, Lieutenant Tal. And perhaps maybe by being a little further away, we can do some observations, some tests. We can throw out some sensor scans. And he looks to the rest of the group looking for approval.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sounds great.
And
Should we get out a shuttle to scan the atmosphere, Captain?
It's probably not a bad idea. Mr. McGee, are you up for a shuttlecraft ride today?
Yeah, I put down my toenail clippers and say, yes, sir. Yeah, totally ready.
You weren't about to cut your. Hold on. Mute the Admiral. So it goes to Karst.
I
press the mute
on,
button.
and I'm like,
yeah. He's like, you're not gonna cut your nails right now, are you?
Well, no, I thought I'd put in the coordinates.
We have an admiral on the main view screen.
But aren't I just off to the side? She can't see me, right?
She sees the entire bridge.
Sorry, it's different than my last ship. I'm sorry.
Lieutenant McGee, maybe
Still
it
get
should
used
be
to it.
best if you go get the shuttle ready.
Yeah, on it. I jog out of the room, pulling a burrito out of my pocket and snacking on it.
We will.
Mr. DM, I'd like to know if I can sense from the Admiral that she's telling us everything that she knows.
What does your empath ability let you do?
That's what I'm trying to find the language for it. It allows me. I have so many screens open.
Read someone's intentions, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
their intention. It says, oh my god, so why is that box so small for such large? You can sense the emotions of living beings nearby, and people you communicate telepathically with other empaths and telepaths. I can see their emotions.
Gotcha. Okay. So then to sense.
Deanna Troy would sometimes be able to be like, I sense they're holding back something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
further-
hold on. That's literally every time
That's
she was
every episode.
brought. Every time she was brought in because of her empath abilities, because it would be really good to have that insight. She'd be like, "She's hiding something," or like, "I can't quite make out what emotion I'm saying." She like could never ever give any answer.
Oh no, there's chaos.
There-
But I
no,
don't
there's
know what
psychic.
it means.
There are some episodes, it's just, yeah, like she's intentionally vague because she would
Yeah.
give the plot away.
Yeah, exactly. You should give the plot away. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do basically it's gonna be some sort of an insight check, but the discipline would be kind of up to your discretion. How are you going to be doing it? Because like, are you looking at it from a security purpose? Are you looking at it from like you want to know if there's a threat that she's hiding? Then it would be security. If you wanted to know if there's something else, if it's like political deception, it would be command. Stuff like that. You see how it kind of works?
Yeah, I'm curious if maybe she knows a little bit more about the thing that's happening itself. So I was thinking medicine.
I
Oh, if she knows something about the disease or something like that.
think that would be control.
I don't think it's gonna be. No, it's gonna be insight no matter what, because control is
Yeah,
like dexterity.
Oh, sorry.
Just the discipline.
Sorry,
So-
I think it would be command.
Yeah, I think that would be
Insight
command.
command.
I think it would be
All right, I
command.
got it.
Yeah.
Insight command.
So your empath thing just says I can let you use it at discretion, with the Betazoid thing.
Yes.
Okay. So
As far as
what-
it says, DM's game masters.
Even better.
decision.
Oh, I love when I get the discretion. Why don't we do this? Let's make a check, because you would maybe make this check anyway, to read a Vulcan admiral's senses. I'm going to say that's pretty difficult. Actually, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is an opposed check, so she's going to... Is it an opposed check? Yes, I think so.
Can I add one of my focuses?
What
I'm
is your
looking at,
focus?
like a bunch of them that work.
What do you think? What would be?
So I have diplomacy, interrogation, survival, counseling.
I don't.
I don't know
Diplomacy
that-
seems to be-
I don't know that any of those, because you're not actually trying to be diplomatic
Sure, I'm
with
not-
her.
I'm not
Um,
communicating with her.
No, and in sort of even like the interrogation, it's you'd be asking her questions and
All right, so then no focus used.
right, no
Cover.
focus used. Now here's how it works for the opposed task. So unlike a normal task where you're just rolling to hit a target number, both of you do a task. So roll and see what you get, and I'll tell you what you might have need.
So you have it all set the way you want it,
Yep, go ahead.
and I hit task roll, right?
Yeah, I don't think
Not-
anybody would help you here because it's something you're doing without saying anything.
I don't remember if that's good or bad.
So you have, it looks like you have 2 successes.
Yeah.
It looks like you have 2 successes.
Insight 9, command 3.
You get the sense that she is. You're trying to glean if she knows anything about the like lying about the disease or something like that.
Yeah. If she has
Uh,
any more information about what exactly is going on.
Yeah, no, you don't necessarily think that. In fact, you get the sense that she's being extremely truthful. Even the emotional empath scan is that she is nervous that this could be some sort of maybe even bigger of a threat than she wants to lead on. Now you don't know exactly if she's has any like guesses, of course, as to what this could be, but you get the sense that she's being very truthful, and her empath reading is that she is scared this could be even worse than what she fears.
Admiral, my main concern is the safety of everybody on this ship. That is my prime directive. That's probably not the right phrase to use. My main concern.
Yeah.
If your prime directive is the prime directive.
Were there any reports of anyone else entering, and whether or not this infliction has affected them as well? Do you think we should approach the surface?
You absolutely could approach the surface. In fact, this is a Federation colony, so they'll probably welcome you as problem solvers. But the colony does lie near the Romulan neutral zone and represents one of our farthest outposts that we have in the region. So it is of the utmost importance that we keep whatever's going on here contained.
Understood. If we cannot ascertain the cause, what shall be our next course of action?
She looks to the captain and she says, Captain, we don't know what the failure will be. But do your due diligence. Report back when you have some answers or more questions. Like I said, don't hesitate. If we need to bring more Federation ships in, we can. It may be a while, but... And then she kind of trails off. Captain looks around and says, Understood. And he looks to Karst to close the view screen. He bids the Admiral farewell, salutes. She salutes, and then the view screen will close out when you do. All right. In my ready room. To all. Commander Karst. Number 2. Vibes, you're, or Mr. McGee, you're getting the shuttle ready?
Totally.
Great. And looks over to you, John. Your character's name escaped me. Thaddeus. Yes, Mr. Beau. To my room. Commander Beau, to my room.
Captain, I'll chart a course.
Yeah. Did Vibes do that? Vibes, you want to chart a course?
Yeah.
So this is going to be to chart your course to Carina 7. You're going to need to give me a check here.
Oh, sweet.
It is going to be reason and con.
That's good.
It's a difficulty
regular...
1 check, so the complication just click 1, like I just did for you, actually.
Yeah, that's actually nice. Alrighty, sweet. I'm just going to roll it.
Now, do you have any focuses that apply to this?
Oh, great point. Navigation.
So there you go. So, in fact,
Starfleet protocol. Navigation.
Looking at the rolls, your con and your reason are pretty high. It's a 16 in total, so you got 2 successes.
Yeah.
Your let's see here, so it's going to be a total of 2. Even with your focus being navigation, it would make your crit range a 5 because the con is 5. But you got 2 successes. Now you got 1 extra success, which means that what you're going to do is you're going to gain a momentum here. Now, this is a little bit of a moot point. I'm going to explain momentum really quick, but the group starts with 6 momentum because you have 2 per character and max of 6 to begin with. So it can't go above 6 ever. So you have 6 to begin with. You have 6 momentum. You can use momentum to do a variety of different things. I gave you that little cheat sheet, but the most common things are to add extra dice and such. One of the things you can use momentum for is to gain extra information. It's sort of like up to the GM's discretion, but basically anytime you do a task that I call for, or like a standard task like this, any extras that you get are banked as momentum. So you got 1 extra success, it banks as momentum, or you could spend it right now to gain more information. And then, at the end of a scene, which our scene is probably about to end, you lose a momentum. So there's always like momentum changing. So you kind of do want to use it when you can, because every time you make a test, you'll get some more. I'm not telling you what to do with your momentum. There's also no rules for like how you decide momentum. Like honestly, I think if a person wants to use momentum, we're just going to let them do it. Now you might want to consult with your group. Might be the nice thing to do, but in theory, you just used your momentum pool. So it's up to you, but you have full right now. So you're basically getting, momentum's going to get lost anyway. Do you want to gain any information from this?
I was going to say, like, if the momentum pool stays at 6, then let's do it.
Exactly. Yes, it's going to
Yeah.
stay at 6. This might not always be the case. So you might
Hey,
be like,
guys, do you want me to take the free momentum?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
Why does it give us 7 slots on the character sheet?
for
Momentum.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm 100% sure it's 6 though. Like 100% sure. But maybe it's because right now, like when you're gaining this momentum, if you were to choose it, you know, I don't know. If anybody else knows the Roll20 character sheet, if you're a Star Trek Adventures player, let us know. And also let us know if we're doing anything wrong, because this is a learn to play. So I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about. 6 is the max in your pool. All right. So as you plot your course, sort of the way that kind of works is you're kind of plotting your course and getting there. But you notice though that it seems it's going to take you. Maybe it would take you just a slightly less time than you anticipate, even though you feel like this is a pretty standard navigation setting that you're doing. You feel like, like almost like you get the sense that the estimated time is going to be quicker, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Based on the computer.
It's every
readings.
time I load up Google Maps.
Right, exactly. You expected it to
beat
say,
that.
yeah. It's gonna take a few days to get to Carina VII from where you're at. So you'll chart the course and head on out.
Sweet.
All right. So the captain ordered everybody to the ready room and to modify to create some sort of a plan here. He looks up to Yaren and he says, I want you to construct a away team, number 2.
Sounds good.
My natural thoughts would have been to take, obviously, Commander Karst with you.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I believe we should also have an engineer. Maybe we can engineer our way out of this problem, and definitely the ship's doctor.
So one thing, Joey, that you would know before saying that is you actually don't have a ship's doctor right now. Your ship
I was
is
going to say
relatively
that during
new.
the meeting, but I was like, oh, I don't know if we don't.
No, you don't have a ship's doctor. In fact, you're in a few months you're going to have a small what's it called when when they stop in the place for a longer time for repairs. What's it called?
Starbase?
Yeah, you're gonna be in a starbase in a few months. At the 6-month mark, you're gonna be at a starbase and you're picking up a captain. A medical officer.
Yep.
So, at the moment, sick bay is just kind of held by a few more, medical recruits out of the academy. But
At least one medical recruit, Captain.
What's that?
You take at least one medical recruit.
So the person that's been doing that lately has been Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee has been the one who will go on away missions for if you felt like a doctor was necessary.
I mean, this is a possible disease, right?
Mr. McGee has the most knowledge on. It's funny, he has the most knowledge on this stuff, medicine.
I have a 4 for medicine. My medicine's pretty high.
Mine's 4.
He takes
My
a lot
level.
of medicine for recreational use.
Nah, man. Growing up rural, we had to fend for ourselves, Just had to figure it out.
We should have one team on the shuttle scanning the atmosphere, and another team possibly on the ground. I'll try to ask the ship's crew to see who would be willing to go on the ground, but perhaps we can have Karst and McGee. Wait, it's Vibes McGee?
Yeah.
And Mr. McGee? There's multiple McGee?
He calls him
doctor's
Mr.
in.
McGee.
I don't know, maybe they'd be down to scan the planet
Sure.
while the rest of our officers go and check out the populace.
So Karst and Mr. McGee to the shuttle to get close to the planet and scan the atmosphere?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, John, what was your character's name?
Thaddeus Beau.
Thaddeus. And Stephanie, what was your character's name?
Tahal.
Hall?
Tahal?
Oh, Tahal. And perhaps Thaddeus and Tahal accompany me down to the planet, along with, obviously some security officers and Mr. McGee.
Make it so.
Yes, Captain.
I just wanted to say that.
Get my communicator and start making the rounds.
Cool. All right, so so there'll be a crew with you here. You wanted so let's see, Yaren. I'll write this down so I don't forget. Yaren. We've got Beau, Thaddeus Beau. Beau, you want a security ensign with you?
Yeah, I'll take one ensign with me.
Just determine who that is. You can make up their name and stuff like that. And then Ta'al is going to be on the planet. And then in space, in the atmosphere, we've got Vibes and Karst. You'll all be able to communicate and communicate with the captain if you want to. You can be directly with the with each other with comms, so you can hear things going on from the planet. So you'll be able to role play and be a part of it. So don't worry. All right. That's the end of the scene. So what's going to happen is the scene's going to fade out. You're going to lose a momentum. Every scene
We're going to hit a
change
commercial break.
is a momentum. Yep, exactly. So now you got 5 momentum.
So we couldn't have held on to that one and
You
lost
couldn't.
it. Okay.
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, max is at 6, so you could ever store. That's why, like I said, if you're at max and you make a check, you might as well use it to gain as much information as possible.
Sweet.
All right. So now we go, and by the way, I'm at 10 threat. It's 2 threat per player, and there's no limit on threat. Threat is something that I can use throughout the game to make things harder for you, propose challenges, and I think we're going to learn that I think with this game, the Star Trek Adventures is more of a, the DM should really be careful with like what they set for things. Like I'm running a mission, from a book, but like if I were to make something up on my own, it would basically be, like when as the DM, and many of you have DM'd at least once or twice here. If you're the DM and you make some sort of decision in the game, you're like, all right, well, this combat's going pretty easy. I want to spice it up. I'm going to say some goblin reinforcements come in. That's like what the threat is supposed to be. So it gives the players a little bit of awareness of like, I'm not just making stuff up. Like I'm using rules to justify my actions. I'm spending a resource that I have to like do that. So it seems like it's not 100% necessary, but it adds a different style to it. So, and there's some other things threat can do, which I'll show you at the most opportune time. Or inopportune time for you.
Nice.
All right. And just to be clear, I do see people in the chat. Basically, it's like it's not like an inspiration system. I know that somebody say it's similar, although maybe I could be wrong. If you sorry, Lumber Luck, if you're a Star Trek Adventures expert, maybe you know better than I do. But from what I've gathered, it's not necessarily just an inspiration. It's like there are so many things. It's like a core mechanic of the game. Feels like really a part of it as opposed to inspiration in D&D. But either way, let's move on. So the scene changes, you lose a momentum, and we go to scene 2. The Carina system is a Type G. Carina system is a Type G main sequence star with a yellowish hue that reminds humans of the sun, or Sol, as it's called. The system has 6 small planets that orbit too close to the star to be habitable. Only Carina VII falls within the habitable zone. And beyond Carina VII are 3 gas giants, and finally a series of small icy planetoids. From space, Carina VII is a blue marble with large green continents and white polar ice caps. It's a Class M planet and is close to ideal for humans as any planet in this sector. So, you arrive in orbit of Carina VII. Before leaving, the ship can use its sensors to scan the planet. Would you like to do that, Mr. McGee, as you are going to be the one operating the helm?
Yeah, I'd love to.
So it's going to be a reason and science task with a difficulty of 2.
Ooh, reason and science with difficulty 2. This is for scanning the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, whenever I have bold con as a talent, whenever I attempt a task with con, I may buy 1 or more d20s by adding to threat.
This is not a con check, though. It's a reason and science.
Oh, right. I just assume. Yep, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
no
cool.
worries. Mm-hmm.
So, complication 2. We're going to go for it. I got 1 and 1, Bob.
1 and
Tough
1.
roll.
I see that. It's a 1 and 0.
1 and 0. I
So
meant
one-
one success, one
so-
failure. My
success.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. 1 success. Good.
Yeah.
So it was a difficulty of 2, which means that it is not going to succeed. So the scanners are trying to, locate any sort of, sense any sort of source that is maybe causing emissions or stuff like that, but you don't get anything.
Oh, I forgot to recalibrate the oscillating thermal manifold. Dang.
That's right. Is that the Technobabble chart?
What? No, that's top of the head, man.
Well, yeah, if only. You get the sense, though, that there is something perhaps causing an interference. I would say that's probably what you would relate to the difficulty of this.
Planet's got something funky going on.
Yeah.
I have a question. For the ship's crew support increases by 1, does that give him an extra dice? I just have this talent. The ship's crew support increases by 1.
So if the crew would like to support him in some sort of action, typically it's reserved for like combat. Yes, that's what it would be. But you can assist him as a crew member. So if you'd like, you can. What does it say?
It just says the ship's crew support increases by 1. This increases cumulative if multiple main characters select it, but each main character can only select this talent once.
I also have crew support or
Gotcha.
I also have a supervisor.
Gotcha.
Right.
So I don't know is the answer to the question. I don't know. But if we want to, why don't we say you're assisting him and you'll roll a dice? So what that means, only one person can assist here. You'd roll 1 dice in a normal task. I don't know about that ability here. So I don't know what that does for you. But if anybody wants to assist, the GM determines how many people can aid in this. I feel like it wouldn't be right to have everybody in this doing 1 sensor scan. But if you wanted to assist in it,
I'm on the shuttle with him, right?
so then why don't you do it? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, are we in that shuttle together?
It was going to be on the ship before you. This is not atmosphere. This is from
Yes.
space.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still
Alright, cool.
fine if you're like with him because the others are preparing to beam down.
Okay. So I'm doing reason science.
Yep, reason and science, and you roll 1 dice only because
Not
it's an assist.
my strongest.
You might say,
Nope.
okay, you might say, Bob, why wouldn't we always assist somebody to give them basically an extra dice to the pool, essentially? Well, the reason why you wouldn't do that is because if you roll a 20, it's a complication, and it can make things worse. So you don't just want to always throw dice out there, just because, you think it might work.
That's
Makes sense.
failure.
It could be worse. It could be worse than a failure. It could be a complication. But yeah, so you don't.
Gotcha.
You try to help, but again, there must be something interfering with your sensor scan, to the sense that you don't trust it necessarily. This might require you to go down to the planet to really get a better scan, which is what you're going to do anyway. So the 2 of you will go to the docking bay and get your shuttle out.
All right. When I
What do you
see
think?
Karst, I go to dap him up. Like, yo, my man Ignition! And I give him some love.
My man,
Hey.
Ignition.
Vibes. How you doing?
Oh, great, dude.
Listen,
Dude, psyched. You ready to check out this new space?
I'm ready to check out all this space. But hey, I mean, listen, man. Earlier, I know we had that toenail incident. Don't worry about it. Salt install may seem pretty serious, but just keep the toenails to probably during break time and maybe not on the bridge.
Word. Chill. I got you, Iggy.
And you know what? Name's Karst, but some people call me Prox, so you can call me Prox. But I
Word.
prefer it would be Lieutenant Commander Prox, all right?
All right. LC Proxy B. Let's go.
Wow, look at this friends blossoming here.
I love
Yeah.
this dynamic. I love this dynamic a lot.
I smack him on the back. A little hard, but like in a friendly way.
Yo, easy on the meat, brother.
Hey,
So-
Sorry, LC Prox. I got you.
all those burritos, maybe you should be a little easy on the meat, brother.
Yo, Vibes McGee is definitely carrying some extra.
Yes. little spare tire.
Exactly.
So the two of you get into the shuttle. We'll what do you think? Runabout? Is this a runabout, Joe? What do you think?
Yep, that would be a runabout.
We'll say you're in the runabout. It's a classic TNG shuttle. So you'll get in the shuttle and you'll head to the atmosphere as the three of you, Ta'al and Beau and Miller, are headed to the teleport. Excuse me. The whatchamacallit?
The teleporter?
Transporter.
Transport room.
Yeah.
Transporter.
And who's accompanying you?
Teleporter in it.
Who's accompanying you, John? Who's your
With me, I have a
We
Benzite.
requested 2 security officers.
What's
Like,
up, Joe?
I think we requested like 2 security personnel.
Oh, 2?
On
Okay.
top of the doctor.
Gotcha. So 2. Yep. So we've got Ensign who?
A Benzite named Kovu Koze. So, Ensign Koze. I went to a name generator for fun.
And give me another one then. Ensign Kovu Koze.
You also just have John Smith. Like, you know.
I wanted a female for one of them, and I guess the other one will be Gepin Gatai.
We're really into the alliterations in space.
So Kovu Koze is a female Benzite.
Yep, and then the other one is a human male.
Gepin is the human. Gotcha.
Yep. Hey, I'm just doing a name generator.
Love it. So Gepin,
FantasyNameGenerators.com.
Ensign Koze, and
Gallant.
Gatti?
Ensign-
Gatti?
Thanks to our sponsor this week.
Gatstai. All right, so
Sorry.
the 5 of you now are headed to the transport operator, David Wilkinson. And David's standing there by the transporter. And he looks at Commander. Commander?
Shouldn't it be 6 of us?
Is it 6? The 3 of you plus 2?
Plus the away team doctor.
Yeah. They have no away team doctor.
Wait, Tal's also with us.
But he's in the ship, isn't he?
Right now I have...
So there's 3 of us. There's no doctor, and then 2 others.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
don't have a doctor.
You don't have a doctor.
Sure.
No, but I thought we had like a
Sure, I'm not a doctor for humans. I'm a doctor for computers. There's a
No.
difference.
No, but I thought we had wasn't there Mr. McGee?
That's
Like,
Nate's character.
I was told to go with Karst there.
By you.
I'm just doing what I'm told, bro.
No, I thought there was a second character.
No. Vibes McGee
okay.
is Mr.
What?
McGee.
I was
My
like,
cousin.
wait, what? Like, you named Bob? Why?
His name is
Like
Vibes
any other
McGee.
name.
I don't know what you want me to do. His name is Vibes.
My cousin saw McGee.
Okay, so yeah, it's the 5 of us.
Yeah,
That's
my,
great.
my medicine checks are not that terrible.
Yeah.
I got decent medicine. I also have like field medicine and like emergency medicine.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure that this is not a big deal. Remember, you don't get the sense that this is some disease necessarily because it's affecting structures and everything.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so
the engineer.
let's see here. Yeah, so let's go to the transport room. So you head in, and there's David Wilkinson, and he looks up at you. Commanders, he
Mr.
says,
Wilkinson?
it's a beautiful planet here. Reminds me just like old Wisconsin back home.
Everything reminds you of old Wisconsin back home. I say, like, kind of fed up with his shtick.
He doesn't get the social cues, so he goes on and he takes that as an excuse to go into a long diatribe.
I was aware of that. That's why I stepped onto the telephone.
Hey, Chief Petty Officer, we have lots of people dying and aging down there, and if every minute you tell me about them cheese curds and stuff you'll be eating, more people will be dying. So,
I haven't had any report. The report that we all got didn't say anything about death.
they're aging at an alarming rate. After you age, you die.
Well, you're absolutely right, Commander, and I apologize for keeping you long. It's just that they make some of the greatest wines ever down there. Did you know that?
I do like that ice wine that they make. You know what? You try to get that bottle fixed in that replicator because this new replicator is not making things all that well. And I'd be happy to share some Betazoid wine with you. We can compare to that Wisconsin ice wine.
Replicator's working fine. I think you guys are just alcoholics.
No, nothing really against you, Sahal. It's just you can't replicate certain things. Back on Earth, there were places that used to be great for growing grapes and things like that. A place called Napa Valley in California, even in my home state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Wilkinson, we have to go.
Oh, right, of course. We'll talk more when you get back.
I'd like to hear more about this.
Sorry?
I'd like to hear more about this Napa Valley when you have a chance, Chief Petty Officer. Just not right now.
We'll do. Understood. And he starts to prepare the coordinates, big smile on his face. And
As we're beaming down, I just want to say that the replicators actually work fine for Vulcan food.
what do Vulcans eat? I don't even know.
Bacal tea.
Okay.
I was looking up like Vulcan food items.
I will say, Steph, it's like a long gag in all of like Next Generation, at least, where like it doesn't quite do alcohol the same. Like they always kind of complain, just like that real alcohol is better. So maybe they all are alcoholics.
Yeah, maybe.
Paktar and plomic soup, as well as plomic tea.
Yeah, it's kind of like Milwaukee people drink like dollar beers and like this is the greatest stuff on earth, and I have it, and I'm like, yeah, it's $1.
Milwaukee's best.
It is the best.
Beast.
Don't let
Beast
David.
ice.
Don't let David Wilkinson down. Okay, he wants this wine situation fixed. All right.
The wine on the planet.
Yeah.
I'll
That's what
make
he
sure to
said.
give you bring you back a bottle of wine, and I like wink at him.
Nice, and then you'll teleport down. I can't do the transporter. That's more of like the tricorder, isn't it?
Beam
Whatever.
me down, Scotty.
And
My name's Wilkinson.
Quick question in the chat. What star date is the session? The star date is 2371. It is the new next gen era. So, okay. That will bring everybody to Carina VII. So, Nate and Stefano, you're in the atmosphere in the runabout. The rest of the group and the security officers are beaming down to the planet. You've been instructed to go to a small settlement called Morgan's Hope. That is where Cyrita Sebastian, basically the governor, the kind of like the leader of this settlement is. And it's an idyllic settlement that is the capital of Carina VII. The rest of the settlers are spread out across the planet on large, self-sufficient farms. The colonists have, for the most part, stuck to the central subtropical region of the planet, noteworthy for its rolling hills, tall deciduous trees, and pleasant climate. All those factors make this area the perfect region for growing grapes and making wine. Beyond the settlement, the citizens of Morgan's Hope have planted enormous vineyards that stretch to the horizon in long parallel rows of grapevines. Morgan's Hope has all the comforts of a 24th century town, including a small hospital, schools, replicators, etc. The buildings are mostly single-story, and there are some larger warehouses for the storage of wine, as well as facilities for creating the wine bottles. The colony also grows cork trees that they use to make the corks for the wine. When you beam down to the planet, you're beamed down to what would be like a central square. You navigate your way to the home of Cyrita Sebastian.
I thought we were teleporting outside of a town, like away from the populace.
Is that what you wanted? I thought you wanted to go to the town, but the ship was going to be outside of further away, so that you wouldn't get.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The ship was fine. The ship did that.
I see.
Yeah. Was I wrong? Did you want to go somewhere else?
No.
No, that's perfect.
Okay, it's just going to mean more walking. So if you if you get beamed down somewhere else, you
Take one
arrive.
stress.
Yeah, you arrive at a small grove of cork trees with a stone path leading towards a large home. A middle-aged woman of Indian descent who speaks with a slight accent reminiscent of Earth's England approaches with a worried look on her face that fades to relief. Ah, you've arrived quicker than I imagined. I'm Sarita Sebastian, the governor of this colony. Please excuse my rudeness, but we don't have time for a tour. The situation here is only getting worse.
Of course,
What do you say?
Governor. We're here to help.
Yes, we are welcome of the Federation's assistance on this problem. Has Admiral Talara contacted you?
Yes, she informed us of the situation. We're unclear on what exactly is going on, though. Can you inform us more?
I'd be happy to. She says, but I think it might be best simply to show you.
Okay.
So she'll motion for you to follow her. She's leaving her home, actually. She saw you approaching, and she came out to meet you kind of like in the grove. And she's going to walk with you into town more directly towards the citizens' homes. But she'll talk to you on the way. And, of course, Vibes and Karst, you can hear this through the comms here. But she'll say to you, basically, that a few weeks ago, we've noticed some drastic changes in people, the colony itself. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but things seem to be rapidly aging. It isn't that noticeable, as you've never met me before, but I haven't really noticed a change in myself necessarily, but the children are where we see the greatest change.
Really?
Well, a year or two of growth on a person my age, a 35-year-old adult, it's not going to be that noticeable, but, well, like I said, and she pulls up to you, she walks you to this path leading to a home, and you can see a tall, broad-shouldered human, a man, at the entranceway, and he goes, "Oh, Sarita, is this the Federation?" And she goes, "It is, Wes, it is." And she'll look to all of you. This is Wes Mackley. Him and his wife, Aurelia, well, their son has aged quite significantly. "Please, come in," he says. We're desperate. We don't know what to do." "Please, come in. We're desperate."
I'm sorry, walk in. Hold on. 1 second.
You introduce
Over the mic, I
yourselves,
say,
and I
Sounds
assume...
like he's gonna join the workforce earlier.
We open the door and roll for initiative.
No initiative yet.
I'm gonna take a look. She mentioned the buildings too, so before I walk in, I'm just gonna look around at the building, see if I see any signs of deterioration or cracks or anything before I walk in.
You don't necessarily see that in the homes right here.
Okay.
Like the houses, they're the small, like, one-level dwellings, and they don't seem to... I mean, they all seem like they've been... they've seen age, for sure. But they don't seem to be that old. This colony, by the way, has been around for 20 years. So it's relatively new. But there are some bigger buildings down the road. You can see, like, the warehouses and storage facilities. Do you want to go check those out, or do you want to stay with the group?
I'll stay with the group for a little bit.
Okay.
I may break off to
Sure.
double check something.
Sure. All right, so Wes Mackley invites you in, and you can see that his wife, Aurelia, who you assume, she was mentioned before, but you assume this is Aurelia. She has long blonde hair braided behind her. She's holding a child in her arms. The child appears to be about 6 years old. However, the child is babbling like an infant. He goes, "This is Aurelia, my wife, and our 6-month-old son, Ephraim."
He's 6 months?
He's 6 months. You can see tears welling up in his eyes. "I feel like we've been robbed of his childhood."
Does he have the intelligence of a 6-month-year-old?
He's like, blah, blah, blah.
That seems pretty advanced for a 6-month-old.
He's got a pacifier in his mouth.
I'd like to take out my tricorder and do a insight medicine check.
Sure. Actually, I have some checks for you to make. So if you would like to inspect Ephraim, then you can make a reason and medical task. It is difficulty 1.
Let's confirm how old he is using some sort of like carbon dating method.
Sure.
Ready to roll? You have everything set?
The tricorder will assist you with the medical tricorder will assist you with this, so it will give you an extra dice, so you can have 3 dice for this.
All right. Where do I click that?
It would be the challenge is 3.
Complication range.
Yeah, 3.
Called on ours.
Okay, that's already set up. Thank you.
Mm.
3 successes.
3 successes. Nice. Now, I'm not showing Roll20, everybody. I mean, I could do this. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to see our Roll20 right at this moment, but I feel like for like small checks where we're only going to be making one here or there, but maybe we'll make a series here, so I'll switch over to Roll20 for now. Remind me, I like to get to the bigger screen, faces being bigger for the role-playing parts. All right, so you, what's your character's name again? Beau?
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus Beau. So Beau goes over, Beau goes over to the child, and you start to using your the medical tricorder that you were given, and you start to scan. What is Joey? What is Yaren doing?
Yaren is like checking the child, figuring out like what exactly like his like psychological profile is, like trying to see if he like understands language, trying to see if like you know, with a faster metabolism, I guess, or like a faster like, you know, or more adult body, but like less human experience, like what effects are actually like transpiring here.
Gotcha. Well, then why don't you give me with this one, we'll do...
Something insight and medicine?
I think it might be insight and medicine. Yeah, I think it would be insight and medicine. Sure.
Okay. Joey is a goofball. When did that happen?
In a Roll20?
Ah.
Oh yeah, because I gave all you access, right? So it's basically...
Oh, I messed with his name tag.
Nice. What a vibes thing to do.
Vibes thing to do. So no focus use, right?
Unless you have a child psychology focus?
No, I don't. I have empathy.
Nah, it's not going to help here.
How many dice do I roll?
You roll... It's always 2. And that should be standard on your dice checker, dice roller. The complication range is going to be 1.
1? Awesome. And I just click the little thing?
The task roll, yep. So you get 2 successes. So, Joey, here's what you... So this actually works perfectly. So, John, you do the tricorder, Beau does the tricorder, and here's what your medical task will get you. The medical task, you got 3 successes, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That's really good. So, would you like to spend a momentum immediately to get more information?
Yes.
Okay, so you're still at 5. You will have bank 1 of them to bring it to 6. So you're at full momentum right now. For you, Beau, you know that this is a perfectly healthy, Ephraim is a perfectly healthy 6-year-old boy medically. Like you were talking about, like carbon dating, stuff like that. Like his body is that of a 6-year-old, 100%.
Why?
Joey,
Uh-huh.
developmentally, you get the sense that he is that of an infant. He doesn't respond to certain things. He doesn't have the aware, like you play a game of peekaboo or something with him and you like hide and he's like shocked. You like disappeared.
No object permanence.
Yeah, no object permanence. And Beau, you're using your momentum. You get the sense that this will actually continue. Like basically 6 months has become 6 years for him. And there's no reason why this would not continue to happen.
Damn.
You also can outline, with the momentum spend, you can also outline underlying genetic disorders from your tricorder reading.
I have a question for the parents. Was this child conceived here on this colony?
It's a very personal question, but yes, Wes says.
Were there any children that weren't conceived on this colony that are afflicted with this agent?
Cyrita looks to all of you and she goes, it's an interesting question. We haven't really thought to look into those who aren't, but perhaps within a few days we can do a quick census.
I'll think it's really important. I have a hypothesis, but I don't think it'd be wise to share it without more information. I have some testing in the hills I think we should do as well.
The hills, excuse me?
Where you're growing them scrumptious grapes.
It would be valuable information for you to see the vineyards. Yes, Cyrita says. We've had some issues with the vintners, the winemakers.
What kind of issues have you been having with them vintners?
Grapes have turned into raisins, basically. She kind of makes a quick joke about it, but she gets back to her serious nature. And she goes, I just don't see how we are going to be able to stand this economically as well.
And you didn't think that the grapes aging quickly, you didn't think that was an important thing to share with the Federation? That seems to be a similar phenomenon.
We did, and in fact, they did. She said the flora and fauna, the structures. Yeah, they did. She's like, I believe we did. Did you read the briefing? No, I'm just kidding.
Did anyone show signs of symptoms after eating the grapes or before eating the grapes?
I mean, the grapes are used for winemaking mostly. I guess in theory you could partake in a grape, but that's not really what we do here.
And the children are not drinking wine. I hazard a guess.
No, not that I know of. No. She shakes her head immediately, looking at Aurelia, and she's like, no.
And you're aware of the medical problems that can come from a pregnant female drinking alcohol, right?
She's offended. She's like, how dare you? She says, I would never. I'm actually going to spend 2 threat right now to make this a complication. So I'm going to go down to 8 threat, and she's going to say, Wes, I'm done with this conversation. Have them leave now. And she takes the kid and goes into another room. And Wes looks at you all and he goes, I'm sorry. Look, if you want more information, if you want to do something, perhaps let's give her time to cool off.
Oh, I was being.
Dude, was that the governor?
No, that's the wife, Aurelia. Cyrita's sitting there. She's in the room with you too.
If I could apologize,
we'll be leaving now, guys. It's fine. We'll and I just take Beau. I just push Beau out the door. Let's not poke the mama bear anymore, man.
I apologize for our offense.
Understood. None taken. Just like I said, if you need something, come back later. Maybe perhaps tonight or tomorrow. If you need to do more tests or scans, I feel like there's got to be some reason behind all this.
I have one more question, if that's okay.
Sure, he'll bring you to the doorway, and you're basically outside the threshold.
Where was the first case of this happening?
It kind of just all started at the same time, he says. I mean, I know there's some other kids that were in the nursery school, and he's talking about the kids in school, they're aging more, and he's like, I feel like it just all started within the last month or so, 2 weeks.
But it started at the school?
Well, the kids is where we noticed it, Cyrita says. Like I said, 6 years on an infant, that's pretty easy to tell. But for an adult, it might not be so noticeable.
Understood. We'll contact you if we need anything. And I walk out the door.
Yeah, Sarita will go with you all and leave, and she'll say, "Would you like to check out some of the vineyards? We can go on our way out of the Mackley house."
Sarita, who is the, excuse my pertinence, but who is the oldest person in town?
The oldest person in town. She'll look, she'll say probably... There is somebody here, actually.
And are they alive?
Zane Knoll.
Zane?
Yep.
Stefano? Zane?
I don't get it.
Wait, wasn't Zane from...
Dan. That's Zan.
Oh, Zan. Okay.
Dan, but his name was Dan, for real.
It was D-Z-A-A-N. So,
Zan.
you
Zane.
decide. Anyway, Zan...
Oh my god, Zane and Dan are Zan.
Zane and Dan. Zan. Zane Knoll is a vintner.
He's
He
a
makes
Knoll.
wine here, and he is
Roll for initiative.
supposed to be... He's roughly about 60 years old. He's the oldest person here.
All right, so he's not really old enough to understand major aging.
No. Most people on this, like I said, most people in this colony are people that started it. They came here as young, kind of entrepreneurs. They're making wine. They sell to the sort of like the outside of the Federation. They sell for gold pressed latinum. So they are in the wine making business.
They're a colony world trying to survive.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I think Zane is a good person to talk to. He's been vintning for a long time and would understand some of the complications of the soil.
She says, "Well, actually, that might be a problem."
Why's that?
What happened to Zane?
Nothing. Just a few days ago, Zane came to me saying that he had noticed some intruders, but he's always seeing things, and I told him that if something happened that we can take a look at it, but he's just seeing things, an old man seeing things.
Are you talking about locals?
That's what he claimed. Well, I'll be honest with you, he claims that the Romulans have come to the planet to abduct him or his family, something like that.
Romulans.
I mean, Romulans have never visited Carina VII.
At a time like this, when infants are 6 years old, we should not cast aspersions on what people are seeing. Because I saw something I never thought I'd see with my eyes today.
Do we know how close Carina VII is to the neutral zone?
It is on the border.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it always? Or like just inside?
It's on the border of the neutral zone.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of great planets on the border.
Awesome planets on the border.
I guess that's why they drew the lines the way they did.
They did. We're going to pause here for a second. We're going to go up to space. Vibes and Karst. You're in the shuttlecraft. You've listened to this. You've heard this situation. You obviously weren't there witnessing exactly what happened. But what are the two of you want to do in the atmosphere?
You see, and that's why refried beans need to be in every burrito. All right. Oh, dude, we were paying attention. Yeah.
These burritos are good. All right.
Yeah. So
All right,
what is, like, a little outside of character? What
Yeah.
is our task in this ship?
So
Are we trying to check the atmosphere, but a little closer?
Like the
Kind
air,
of.
like the air.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
sweet.
first initial scan was to see if there was any sort of like emissions or something going on, something the planet was giving off. Now that you're in this, you can maybe get air samples. You could do like general observations. Now that you're actually in the atmosphere of the planet.
Where we headed, LC Prox?
I assume you
Well-
want to head over the city of Morgan's Hope, which is where your crew are.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you'd like to, you
Whatever
can.
my lieutenant commander says.
Yeah, Karst, what do you want to do?
Let's go over the city of Morgan's Hope, where it seems that the issue is happening. And perhaps we could collect some air samples and see if this is affecting any of the people.
Sweet dude, entering coordinates now.
Give me no coordinates necessary for this. This is not a jump or anything like that. You're not going through warp here. You're just.
I
traveling
just say
through-
that to make people think I have to pilot's hard, but really, I'm just gonna steer it over here.
Give me a reason and science task. One of you can give me the reason and science task, and the other can assist if you'd like.
I'm decent there.
These are so far. We're picking my lowest things.
All right, great. I'll do it.
Do you want to assist, or do you not want to risk the complication?
I think we keep getting momentum up the wazoo. I think you should spend a momentum for an extra dice.
You can actually spend. So if you spend 1 momentum, you can spend it and get 1 dice. If you spend 3 momentum, you can spend to get 2 dice, and then all your momentum to get 3 extra dice. Obviously, you might not want to do that, but
right. What is the difficulty?
Difficulty would be 2.
So yeah, I would actually suggest if Nate wanted to use a 3rd dice, spend 1 momentum.
I mean, I'd definitely use 2. It's up to the. Can I ask like the group?
Yeah.
No, they're not there. They're not here. Use it.
I definitely do 1 to try and hopefully get success.
Go for it.
Is
So
that
3
cool
dice.
with you
and
guys?
yeah, it's fine.
All right, let's do it.
You guys are maxed at momentum right now.
Woo! That was a good idea.
Yeah.
Good.
2
you can also
successes,
spend
Bob.
just let you know, you can also spend 2 momentum to re-roll your whole set of dice if you wanted to.
Oh, good to know. Good to
Right.
know.
So
Oh,
you got
cool.
a reason and science task of success of 2, which means here's what you're going to find out. The air quality is fine. In fact, you don't get any sense of like disease or parasite in the air. None of that shows. But what you do notice is that there is a the same interference that you found up top when you do another scan in the atmosphere is still happening. Something is blocking your scan. Now that you're close enough, if you'd like to kind of inspect the interference, now that you're closer to it, you can. This would be a science and reason task, difficulty 3.
Hey, well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where this came from.
You also
like,
can-
I guess I'm trying to figure out like if it's like natural or like put there by someone. I don't know. That's kind of the thing I'm really trying to figure out.
That might be something you could do, yeah, with a momentum spend after you make the check.
So with my former initiate, when I attempt a task using control or reason, I can spend determination. Do I have any of those?
Every character starts with 1 determination. It's a good point.
Okay.
And those you want to like? Do you want to kind of hold on to those?
If you want to, you can. The only way you can get determination, it's much harder to get, is you have to have something that tests. Basically, the GM has to present you an opportunity to like test one of your values, to like not just be like use it, be like it's something that goes against your value in a major way that would maybe actually make you lose that value. So it's very hard for you to get that. So you want to keep your determination when you can.
Oh man.
You might want to use this, but it just depends on what the task would be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Why not? I'm determined.
Want to use it?
Can I use a determination and a momentum and roll 4?
So the determination spend would give you what? What does it want you to get?
It gives me
1 extra
an
dice.
extra d20, and I may re-roll my dice pool.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
my
going to
former
suggest that
initiate.
maybe
Oh, it
that's
says-
really, really good.
A player can use determination to gain a bonus d20 that has rolled a 1.
That's
to
a normal.
successes.
That's a normal spend of determination, but you can only spend determination if one of your values is applicable. So this is basically letting you use it when your value is not applicable, just on a reason task. So it's letting you use it even though you normally wouldn't be able to use it.
Now, it seems like
And
the
better.
interference is happening outside of the ship that is causing an issue with our sensors, right?
Correct. It's in the air around you for sure.
Got it.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I guess I'll try to assist with this one.
Okay, so Nate, if you want to use your determination, you absolutely can. What you're doing, though, is better than determination. Normally, it's just giving you an automatic 1 crit. This is a success of 3 that you need to get. You can honestly use your other one to give you an extra dice and a reroll. That would be, I think, better in some ways. But
Then
it's
the
up to you.
determination.
It's a full reroll, so if you fail, you get to roll it again. Yeah.
Right, but
No,
he only
I'm
rolls
sorry.
2.
So you're saying you think it's smarter to use the determination?
Well, it would definitely make
Or not.
success very, very
Yeah, yeah.
applicable. Yeah,
No,
it's gonna happen.
So I'm
if you-
gonna use it.
Go for
So I get to roll. Do you guys mind if I use a second momentum to figure this out?
it. Sure.
Oh, this is more for the. Right? Is that? I don't know. Am I supposed to
It,
ask?
it seems important. Like we
Yeah.
need.
All right. So
we
I'm
talk.
gonna roll 4 with my determination, and that complication 3.
And I'll
and
roll.
You're gonna roll 1 as well.
I'll roll 1.
To assist. Gotcha.
Hey.
Well, I
Oh,
guess I
wait.
don't need to, but
That is good. Don't worry. That is good.
all right. I just don't help.
Yeah, you actually only roll 1 dice.
Oh,
Anyway.
I only roll 1
But it's
anyway.
fine.
Right.
But so you got a complication here, Nate.
How is that?
It must be because there's a reason why. There's a reason why. I forget exactly why. But there's a reason why. It's automated and it might be like depending on what you have for your reason or science or something like that. But regardless, 3 successes, a complication, and you're going to succeed on this task. Here's what you get. So you continue to use this ship's computer to scan for this sort of disruption in the atmosphere. And what your ship is picking up is tachyon particles. So some sort of temporal anomaly is happening here. Layman's terms, time is being messed up.
Sweet.
Also, with your check, you also could notice that, let's see. This would rule out, your computer will give you it will rule out the idea of, and there's a disease, a real life disease called progeria. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this before. You've heard of this?
Yeah, my saplings just, they're doing a presentation on it tomorrow.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Progeria is a rare genetic disorder that was incurable in the 21st century. Its primary symptoms is the appearance of rapid and premature aging. Persons with progeria have short lifespans and rarely live past the age of 13. This disorder was never found outside of the human race. By the 24th century, doctors were able to diagnose and treat progeria prior to the birth of the child. A few rare cases still occur in the 24th century, but this would rule this out.
Gotcha. So there's tachyon particles in the air, and it's not progeria.
No. And the source of it is something that you could maybe try to pin down, but it's going to take time. So we'll keep the scans running.
Gotcha.
What are tachyon particles?
So it's time getting messed up. They're
They're time
particles
particles.
that
They're
mess
time
up time.
particles,
Yeah.
basically.
It's timey-wimey.
Timey-wimey.
Gotcha. All right.
They're not time particles, but they're particles that affect time. Again.
LC Prox. The tachyon particles are all wonky, bro.
Ah, those damn tachyon particles. They're all messing up time and all that stuff that I just learned.
Yeah, man.
You would know. You're a Starfleet officer.
No, man, we've known about them for a while, dude.
So-
You don't take tachyon the course at Starfleet Academy is great.
I tapped my communicator to talk to the team and
Move on.
no in the shuttle. I'm like, what's the status report?
Tachyon particles are in the air, but you guys met any kids down there or anything?
No
Well,
kids.
I guess I would have been
What was
following
that?
along, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that strange babbling sound that we heard?
Excuse me.
That strange babbling sound that we heard when you were with the woman.
Ah, yeah. And it seems that their 6-month-old child is now a 6-year-old child.
Right.
Past,
Well,
I know what you're thinking. It's not progeria.
Yes,
All
we
right.
can rule out progeria.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, honestly, that was my first instinct. I was thinking we could just get some cure for it.
Exactly.
But as my friend
Big
Mr.
tachyon?
Magoo was saying, there are tachyon particles that are being
Tachyon
picked up
particles?
in the atmosphere.
Righteous.
How the hell did tachyon particles get in the atmosphere?
I don't know, man. We're gonna have to scan some more air.
Can you guys
Get
find
in
a source?
touch. I mean, we'll try, Commander.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We are
report back to me.
continuing to scan the area.
Sounds good. If
Perhaps,
you can locate the source, report back to me immediately.
Perhaps
Will
we
do.
could.
Time is.
Perhaps we could collect some specimens of these decaying flora and fauna as well.
It's a good idea. I'll send some security officers to go collect some. In the meantime, I'll send a report to the captain.
All right.
Sweet.
So we're going to have a
We're
scene
out.
change here. So the scene is going to end. Your momentum goes from 4 to 3.
Ew.
And we are going to change scene. As the crew heads on the ground, heads towards Zane Knowles' vineyard, you do pass by one of the warehouses. And I know Tal was looking at perhaps structures. This one looks rather decrepit. Do you want to use your scanner, your tricorder on this?
Yeah, I would like to, please.
The warehouse is a rather large building. It looks like its outer shell of this warehouse was made of a faux wood veneer, but you can see underneath is a metal structure. You scan it. Give me a reason and engineering task.
Sure.
Difficulty 1.
So my task roll is 1? Or no, it's 2 still.
Your dice starts at 2, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anything that would help you with this engineering task?
Oh, yeah, I have a focus. Observing is step 1. And I also have, no, I don't think anything else applies. Would my focus apply, though? Can I add
Is that your
to it?
focus or is it your value?
Oh, values. I have values. Gadgets are better than friends. Focus will get it done. So
Gotcha.
I can probably focus.
So let's go with maybe perhaps. No, I don't see any because the focus is not the values is what we're applying here. I think you would need something more like if it was like architecture would be your focus. That would be it really. So go ahead, just make your check with 2, or you could use a
Okay.
momentum. I know you guys like using momentum now.
That's okay. I'll do 2.
Okay.
I'll see.
Engineering and reason. And there's a success. Excellent. So with this check, you can tell that this building is about to collapse. It looks like it has been fatigued, caused by aging. This sort of metal would fatigue in a structure, but it would have to be standing for perhaps 100 or more years. And this colony is only built 20 years ago.
Okay. I relay the information to my crew that it's not safe. Guys, this building seems to be almost 100 years old, though this colony is only about 20 years old. That math is not mathing. First off, I think we need to get everyone out of the building before it collapses, or else we could have casualties.
Cyrita says, "Oh, we've already evacuated most of the warehouses. The structures were giving us cause for concern. The wine in it has been spoiled, so it's of no use to us anymore."
Okay.
It doesn't seem like this is a disease then. If it's affecting the architecture, that means that time itself is moving differently here.
I go through the mic and go, yeah, it's the air particles, dude. It's all over the atmosphere.
We just told you this.
She says,
No,
Cyrita will say,
I'm with her.
Cyrita will say, "Do you have any other theories what it could be if it's not a disease?"
Well, we are near the neutral zone.
What does that have to do with
Tachyon
it?
particles.
You think it was sabotage, Lieutenant?
I'm not ruling it out. I mean, there's a lot of wine here, and I'm assuming this is their way of life, so this would be their income.
To get another Federation colony off world so they can expand their neutral zone.
John, what's
It's just a theory.
your insight and security?
Mine?
No, John.
Oh, sorry.
Beau.
Beau, you silenced, buddy.
My insight is 9 and my security is 5.
Give me a insight security check. Roll as many dice as you like. This is going to be an opposed check.
Roll as many as you'd like.
I don't know what that means. So am I manipulating the complication in the task roll?
Correct. You can decide to make this check. Someone is trying to sneak up on you.
Oh, I have a bunch of. I feel like I have extra stuff. I have quick to action. All right, but they're trying to sneak. First round of any combat, so that's later. All right, let's go. I'm gonna roll 3 die.
The key is focuses with most rolls, because if you have a focus that applies, then your crit range is higher.
Survival.
I'd
No,
say that works.
no, I think that's more like living in the wild, you know?
Are they trying to sneak up to attack me? Because then I also have,
That you don't know. That you don't know what the intent is, but
All right, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
you also
So I'm
don't
rolling-
know this is happening. It's to see if you notice them.
Yeah, again, these things go back. Complication range of 1, task roll of 3. Is this correct?
Yeah, the complication range doesn't matter because it's an opposed check, so don't worry.
Awesome.
Nice.
3 successes.
And they rolled a natural 20, which is a complication, so they'll kick into a barrel or something, a wine cask, and knock it over. But you see 3 people. One is an elderly person, looks like he's, up there in age, and 2 younger human males with him. And he knocks over the barrel, and you can see he's old, and he looks kind of like his movements are kind of not so agile, and he gets up. His 2 partners come and grab him, lift him up, and he looks to you. He comes around the warehouse building, and Sarita goes startled. You obviously see him first, John, so you react. What do you do?
I would like to use my empathy to see their emotions and their intentions.
Anger, frustration.
Ah, you must be Zane.
How did you know?
Betazoid.
I'm a Betazoid. Tried to sneak up on a Betazoid.
He says, I'm fine. He goes to his two companions, and he goes, Sarita, I thought I heard you coming around here. You done with your fooling around and calling the Federation? Did you call the Admiral yet? She's like, I called the Admiral. It's okay. This is the Federation. They're here to help us. And he's
I'm
like,
Commander Miller. This is Commander Beau.
it's all the Romulans' fault.
What did they do?
They're here on Carina VII. They were in my vineyards last week.
You saw the Romulans in your vineyard?
Ain't that right? He goes over to his 2. These are my sons, Percival and Franklin.
Did you guys see any of the Romulan trespassers either?
The older sibling will look at you. We didn't really see anything. We're just going off of Dad's word. He's like, don't ask them. I'm telling you what I saw.
Well, listen, I believe that's what you saw, and I'd like to get to the bottom of it. But just because you've seen it doesn't mean it's a threat.
He pulls up these big bottle cap glasses, and he's like, there's one of them now, and he points to Al.
That is a Vulcan.
He's like, all right. He goes, but I know what I saw. And the other son, Franklin's like, Dad's been kind of losing it.
I walk up to Commander Beau and I'm like, I'm going to report back to the captain. Perhaps we can scan, see if another ship is in the atmosphere. Do you mind interrogating him? But obviously, be nice.
I can definitely handle the interrogation. Thank you for your confidence, Commander.
Are you gonna beam up?
No, I'm just gonna sort of mosey on over and use my communicator. I'll still be on the ground.
Gotcha. Okay. So the old man Zane, he'll come up and he'll say, "If you don't believe it," he says, "then come with me. I'll show you what they did."
I actually piques my curiosity. Like,
And he's back.
I'll believe it, but before we leave, I have just a couple of questions for you. What do the Romulans want with this planet?
Obviously, the quality of my wine. That's what they want.
All right, Zane. I mean, have you met a Romulan? They did not care about human wine.
You haven't tasted my wine.
Well, I think I might have to indulge myself, but not on the job, of course.
Come with me and I'll show you what they did to my vineyard.
All right. As soon as my commander returns, we'll all go there together. But I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about some of the complications that you've been having in growing wine. Clearly, you have grown some wonderful wine in this difficult environment. When you first came here 20 years ago, were there any difficulties with locals, flora, fauna alike?
There were, yeah,
What were some of them issues?
issues with making wine.
Making wine, growing in general. You are wise, man, and I'd like to know about the origins of this here colony.
He looks to Cyrita, and Cyrita's like, well, we came here to create wine for trade, but the only real issues we've had are that we're just so far away from the Federation. If perhaps the Federation had more of a presence here, we could do more business.
Well, you understand that the Federation can't have more of a major presence this close to the neutral zone.
Oh, for the time being, but if there are really Romulans here searching for our wine, perhaps they will do business with us. She kind of says it sarcastically, and Zane looks at her, and he kind of like, waves his hand at her, and he's like, come with me. I'll show you what they did. And he'll bring you over to his vineyard, which is down the road.
I do want to report back to the captain.
Sure, go ahead.
You follow our tracks, I'm sure. Like, I'll
Yeah, they're not far away. So it's a small little town. So he's on the outskirts, but it's not far.
Yeah, I'll catch up with them whenever you guys are.
All right, what do you want to say to the captain? You use your communicator?
Yeah. Basically, Captain. Seems that we have tachyon particles in the atmosphere, and an old man claims that Romulans have trespassed on his property. I'm wondering if maybe we could do some kind of scan for any sort of concentration of tachyon particles. Perhaps we can find the source of where it comes from. And
we'll start working on it, number 2. But Romulans, he said.
I don't think they would cross the neutral zone.
I'm going to go to yellow alert just to be cautious.
Of course, Captain. I'll alert the crew.
We'll go to yellow alert. We'll keep the scans open. We didn't find anything when you left, but we'll keep it open. If they are Romulans, though, they could be cloaked.
Perhaps we should orbit the planet?
Do a visual scan. Good idea.
Well,
anything else?
Maybe we can find any sort of emissions. If they are cloaked, then our best bet would be to maybe track tachyon particles.
Vibes. The captain's hailing you.
Yo, it's his Vibes here, Commander.
That's my channel, Vibes. Change it.
Oh,
Send me
I
all the
fumble around
information.
to change it.
Send me all the information you've gathered on these tachyon particles. We'll analyze it here on the ship.
Yeah, of course. Hey, Cat, before you get there, it's not progeria. I know. All right.
Understood.
And I beep boop. I send him up the stuff.
Good. Commander Miller.
Yes,
Report
Captain.
back when you have more information from this man about the Romulans.
Sounds good, Captain. Miller out.
All right, so you follow him to his vineyard. Zane is an old kook.
Wooden ship.
An old wooden ship. And what he's going to do is he's going to bring you to a part of his vineyard, sort of like on the outside, the area of his property, where like kind of the end of the row of grapes would be. As he walks through, he kind of like fiddles with leaves and things like that. Some of the vines, does a quick little cut of something as he's going and talking about his vineyard has been the most exquisite grape producer. He says, but here, look here. And he points down to an area of the soil. Looks like just like kind of dug up. And he says, this was 10 feet of vines. 10 feet of grapes. It's gone. And you can see there is just a ditch in this like kind of, trench that he created. It looks like there are vines, and they've been ripped out.
Well, that's my curious. Do they look like they were cut, or do they look like they were forcibly removed in your expertise?
You could give me a insight and command task if one of you would like to prefer to make it. I don't know if... I feel like Joey probably has the highest command.
I feel like it's either Joey or Steph. It's not me. Yeah.
My command is 1.
I've got a command of 5.
Insight and command, Joey. Go ahead.
Insight and command.
Yep.
Okay.
It is
dice?
it is to discern what he's saying is true.
Okay. 2 dice and
Yep. Difficulty 1.
Ew.
So you can either bank that extra momentum to bring you from 3 to 4, or you can use it right now to get extra information.
I'll bank it.
Okay, so you go from 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Bob, I was just wondering, by the way, with John's check before, did those count towards the bank?
So I don't know if opposed checks do. I know it's like a simple
Okay.
task,
Sounds
like a
like,
regular
dang,
task.
that would have been great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
All right, cool.
I could be wrong, but my thought was that when you make a task that has a difficulty check, that's when you get it. Because an opposed
Gotcha.
check could be like, I mean, he's got, if he had like 5 dice compared to guy's 1, it would always produce moment. I don't know, so I could be wrong.
I got you. Yeah,
If I'm
cool.
wrong, we find out. I'll give you a couple extra. So Joey, you get the success here, and he's describing what he saw. He saw a person in a Romulan's uniform. They had this like V-shaped forehead, and he believes that it's not some sort of Vulcan. It has got to be a Romulan, because the only Vulcans on the colony are Cyrita. Not Cyrita. Excuse me. There are no Vulcans on the colony. Excuse me. There are no Vulcans. So that's what he says, and you believe that he thinks he's seen, maybe you may be mistaken for a Vulcan, but he's seen somebody that's not of the colony in his vineyard, and you believe that he's been robbed.
I doubt that the Romulans are trying to cause an international incident over wine. But maybe these are some Romulan rogue traders?
I don't know the reason they're doing it, but I can tell you for sure they just want my wine, because why would they take all my grapes?
Can I take some of your grapes that aren't affected?
Everyone's taking them. Go ahead.
Okay.
Might as well give them to you. You want some? He points to the security officer, Mr. Beau.
I sort of like sense that he's like annoyed. And I'm just like,
I chime in and go, yeah,
Mr. Beau.
dude, bring some of those grapes up.
Mr. Beau,
yeah, I like grab the vine.
Beau, you get the sense that he's nearing a like sort of a breaking point. He's kind of, with your empathy, he's getting to the point where he's getting very frustrated with what's going on here.
I put a hand on his shoulder.
Don't touch me.
Okay.
Wait, are some of the grapes affected by this aging
You look at the
process?
grapes, and they are all in various states of like decay. Some are like basically just dead, falling off the vines. Others are shriveled up, They kind of look more raisin-esque, and others are like even the newest ones that he's planted. They're still almost to the point where they're past ripe.
All right,
I
I'll chime in. If you could get maybe one from each stage, that might be helpful in our analysis.
yes.
And enough to make
Paul.
some wine.
Vibes, I don't think you want wine from those grapes.
Dude, I could just see vibes in like the I Love Lucy setup with the barrels and no shoes,
Oh yeah.
ready to
Vibes
squish.
probably drinks boxed Chablis anyway.
No,
I,
more of a Merlot type of guy.
I contact Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes, transporter.
Yeah, and I tell him to transport like X amount of grapes, all from different stages,
Will do.
directly to the science facilities,
Sure.
med bay.
Yeah, sure, he can either. Yeah. Steph,
5 grapes, 10 feet away from me.
Steph, give me a reason and engineering task difficulty 2. As
Sure.
you're looking at the ditch that was dug here.
Okay.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, here's what you get. So you get one of the the areas where a vine was leaves behind a particularly interesting hole. It's approximately 1 meter deep and 0.25 meters in diameter.
That's a big
You know
hole.
exactly what this is. You've done this yourself. This is a device was used to pull this out. A device you've maybe used before for soil samples.
Okay. So someone's already been sampling the soil, guys. There's a hole here for this.
I look down, and I go check it out.
Yeah, you look, and it's exactly as she describes. It's almost too perfect. Like most of this area here is, there's no like precision tools they're using to like excavate. So even though these are all ripped up, one hole in particular looks like it was done with a soil sample device.
Maybe we can scan this area, see if there's any DNA samples associated with it. Check for Romulan DNA. I asked like any of the.
Yeah, the security ensigns will look around, they'll try to find something, but they don't see anything that they could analyze. Although, Mr. Beau, give me a reason and security task, and your survival focus will come into play here. So your crit range will be applied or expanded.
Okay. Do I have to do anything for that?
It's the focus box has to be checked on.
Focus
Yeah,
used.
there we go. Focus, yes. All right, and a regular roll. All right.
Actually, can I scan for tachyon particles in the soil sample hole?
Sure. Use your tricorder.
Yeah, I'm just like.
Sure.
1 success and 1 failure.
Okay, it was a difficulty 1, so you do succeed. You notice that there is a very... It's not easy to notice, but as you looked at the hole and you kind of took more notice of the exact perimeter, that there are tracks covered up heading further off into the wilderness. It looks like there's some nearby hills, maybe a few miles away. It looks like they're headed that way.
I'm going to definitely not mention this to Zane and his children, but I guess I could roleplay it out if everyone else is ready to leave this situation.
Sure.
Commander, I think we've had enough time with Zane here.
Agreed.
I think for the safety, in case the Romulans come back, you should head home. And I'm gonna scout the area out a little bit, and hopefully we can ascertain what's going on here.
All right, but if you find anything, you let me know, because I want to get that Romulan's head.
Perhaps we can schedule 2 more ensigns to keep the place secure.
Sure, you want your ensigns Barracuda and Geppin?
No, I'm saying beam down 2 more security
Kozan?
officers to like specifically like defend this
You don't have that many security officers, Joey. Just letting you know.
how many security officers do we have?
That's a
on the
great
ship?
question. Let's find out right now.
I have a 4 in security.
It's supposed to be like there's supposed to be at least like 30 security officers.
Let's see. Intrepid class?
No way, it's got like 5 dudes on it.
They didn't give us a lot of people. We suck.
It's about 500. It's about 500 people on an Intrepid class ship in Star Trek.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
So
so
there's definitely more than.
Actually, I got a different number. I got 140. What was yours from the book?
Oh yeah, 150. Sorry, yeah, 150. You're right. It's 150. You must have given me something else in the. Yeah, it's 150. Yep.
Security. At least like 10 of those have to be security.
I can see, yeah, 10 to 15 sounds about right?
Let's find out. We'll find out, and we'll
50.
50. It says. Oh, you're just making stuff up. Okay.
Sorry.
Depends on your mission.
We'll definitely look this up and figure it out for next time. You should be able to, whatever it would be, you'd have. So if you want to, these two right now will stay with them, and if you want to beam down separate ones or whatever, they could come with you if we have the ability to do it.
Okay.
We'll retcon it if we have to. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So the captain is going to request information. Commander Yaren. Captain's trying to communicate.
Captain?
You'll explain to him what you found, perhaps a possible Romulan tracks, things like that.
Yeah, actually, I don't say that they're possibly Romulan. I just say like it seems like there were some soil samples taken from.
Gotcha. Well, we're already on yellow alert. I'd feel a little bit better if you had Mr. Karst, excuse me, with you, which probably gets a little under your skin.
Yes, Captain. You want him to return to the ship?
No, I would like him to join you. Have Mr. McGee bring him down to the surface, and they'll join you to scan the area for visual signs of perhaps Romulans.
Okay. I was actually going to return to the ship, but if you want me to stay down here.
I need somebody in command down there. I want you to be my eyes and ears, but I also want Mr. Karst to be there with you because, well, he's got a mean right hook. We're not letting them escape, not this time. You get the sense that your captain is desperate for a victory.
I'll contact
McGee.
Lieutenant McGee, and tell him to drop off the shuttle here.
Make it so.
I was listening in the whole time. Actually, it was. I don't know if that's cool.
No, he would have contacted him directly. Yeah.
Oh man, all right. I don't know the Star Trek rules.
However,
press the right button.
Sorry, I left the telephone off the
of the receiver.
off the receiver.
What's actually funny though is, Stefano, your Karst, right? Karst.
Yeah.
I'll get everybody's names by the end of this whole series so that we won't ever use them again, but I'll remember them by episode 3. Karst. The captain called you just about a minute before this and said that he wants you to head down there. He's telling Yaren to call you down. So when you call him, Joey, we'll roleplay this. Go ahead.
Karst, you there?
Yes, Commander Miller.
I believe the captain said he wanted you to group up with us. So however you can get the shuttle down into this villa.
Already on my way. He contacted me earlier.
Why did he tell me? Okay. Sorry. Yep. I just hang up.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to provide. Oh, all right.
All right. So here's what's gonna happen, everybody. You head down to the planet. You all gather up. So it's the 5 of you and your 2 ensigns, security ensigns. They'll leave 2 more at Zane's house to kind of guard and we'll look after him. Cyrita's going to leave you here. She'll say she'll let you on to the investigation, but if there's any way she could help, you know where to contact her. So she'll go back to her villa. You'll follow the trail as night starts to descend upon Carina VII, and you follow it. You notice a couple things. I think Beau would probably be leading the way. Beau, as you follow this trail that you find, you kind of lose tracks per se, but you notice that there are like scuff marks on certain small little rocks. There's like boulder-sized rocks. There might be like scuff marks that you could follow. So even though you don't have footprints, you can see that there's some trampled brush, small shrubs that have broken limbs, and the path leads further on into the hills. After walking for what seems to be about an hour or so, you reach the foothills that you saw in the distance. You take out your tricorders, you start to scan things, trying to figure out where things are. And ultimately, you notice something. Give me a check with the tricorder, Beau. Be security and insight. Difficulty 1.
That's a success.
Yeah, it looks like there is some sort of illusory program being projected onto the face of one of the hills.
I saw this episode.
Yep.
Do you want to bank momentum?
Yes, you want to bank that momentum for sure.
For sure.
Which brings
So
you
we're
to
up to
5. Yep, 5.
Yeah.
When you approach, you can see that the illusion can be disrupted. You do so with your tricorder, and before you see a metal door that looks like it has been constructed recently.
To Commander Lieutenant Tall.
Yes, sir.
Can you investigate the door? See what kind of material it's made out of?
Yeah, let me scan it.
I believe it's to all.
To all.
Oh.
Give me
Nice.
a... Steph, you can give me a reason and engineering check.
Okay.
Difficulty 1.
What did I roll?
1 success? Good.
1 success.
1 second.
This looks like it has been constructed within the last 2 months, and it looks like it is of Romulan architecture.
I relay that to the crew. Looks like it's built approximately 2 months ago of Romulan architecture.
And you
So
could open it.
100
It's openable. Like you could open this door.
Okay.
All right.
Should I open it, sir?
Everyone, get your faces out. Set them on stun. Let's open it.
You open this
That
hatch.
phaser stick kill.
Commander Beau, would you like to take the lead?
I would very much like to take the lead. I'd like to recommend. We're dealing with Romulans here. Now, we might have the element of surprise, but that certainly are not going to come easy. This could be a pretty major intergalactic issue.
Let's not kill anybody. I want to make sure everyone we can capture, we capture alive. Is that understood? I look to the entire crew. And
Sounds gravy.
Of course, Commander.
make our way out there.
Commander, should we leave anybody at the door, or just like we could all go in?
Actually, that's a great idea. We should leave like a security ensign by the door.
Word. Oh, I meant me. Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah. Word.
Nope,
You're going,
coming
McGee.
with us, McGee.
I think we should communicate to the captain
Chill.
where we're going, right?
Yes.
In case we don't come back.
All right. I will follow close by with Commander Beau, as I've encountered Romulans hundreds, maybe thousands of times in my career.
This is clearly a lie. But
All
either
clear.
way, you can head in whatever marching order you want to do is fine. You can leave Ensign Koze at the door and head in.
Obviously, like report to the captain.
Yeah, you report to the captain and no response.
No response.
There must be some sort of interference. Yeah.
I look to another one of the ensigns and I tell him to like run as far away from here as he can, and until he's in communication range, and try to contact the captain and inform him what's going on.
Okay, so Gat Tai will run to get closer to town where he made contact earlier, and Koze will stay at the door.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
All right, so you open the hatch. Ta'al opens the hatch of the Romulan constructed metal door in the hill. Beau takes the lead, and the rest follow in. And we'll see you next week on Tabletop Bob as we confront these Romulans on Carina VII.
Head on.
Head on.
Or these people really trying to
Romulan.
frame Romulans.
Maybe. We'll find out. There's a lot
Zane.
to inspect.
It's Zane.
Was Zane
Oh,
the
Never
whole
time?
trust anyone that has a name close to Zan.
True.
And Steph, did you have your wine with you today?
I do. Tonight's wine selection is the Special Reserve United Federation of Planets Sauvignon Blanc.
Look at that.
Ah!
When
Nice.
we were off stream
it's-
and Steph was like, I have this cool bottle of wine tonight. I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's literally
It's from Star Trek wines. So this is the white wine.
Is
That's
it
awesome.
Oh, sweet.
And you have Klingon wine too, right?
I do. I have red wine and I've got Klingon wine, which I was planning on having for our finale.
There we go. If you all die next week, the finale will come early.
Nice.
True.
Well,
Klingon
everybody-
wine is like a little bit harsh, but gets straight
Yeah.
to the point. Gets you drunk pretty quick.
It's for the combat episode. We'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week when we play on Tuesday Star Trek Adventures Act 2 of Entropy's Demise. We'll see you next week. See you on the tabletop, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
Yeah.